Yes, Counter Attack podcast back with another short. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Thank you for the feedback from the last couple ones. We're gonna keep it going. I said I'm gonna release two, maybe three a week. Last week, first week, we did two. We're gonna try and go for three this week, and then we'll build it up so that we get like five a week every weekday. But like I said, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. I'm Daps. We've got a normal podcast coming for you this week. Trying to figure out, logistics and everything. So, yeah. So we're here. So it's been an interesting weekend of Premier League football this weekend. And the obvious thing to talk about would be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I'm not going to do that today. He's finally gone from his job. It looked like the writing was on the wall for such a long time. And you know what, I said I'm not going to talk about him, but now that I'm here, I might as well just quickly talk about him for literally 1 minute. I feel like when he first came into the job, he was there to almost just steady the ship. United were in disarray, both on the pitch, on and off the pitch, and he just came in to just settle things. What happened, though, is that once the ship was settled, in order for United to kick on to the next level, you needed a bigger character. You needed someone who could go in and had the experience to actually take them to that next level. And you just basically needed a better manager. So that wasn't him. And it went on for far too long. He'd rescue his job by pulling out a victory, but then ultimately the results that have been happening recently have just been ridiculous. So, he had to go. Nice guy, but there's no more Ole at the wheel. So, I don't know who you guys think should come in. I'm hearing, as it stands when I'm recording this, Pochettino's favourite. I'm seeing Luis Enrique for the job. Obviously Zidane. Saw a bit of Ten Hag. So I know there's a lot of United subscribers to my channel. So you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know who you think should come in and take the job. And that's that. So, what I actually did want to talk about, and I didn't want to just do the hot topics or whatever. That's why I just thought I'll touch on the Ole stuff in the main podcast. But today, and it's actually really annoying because I already had it down that I was going to speak about Rodri because I wanted to talk about things or talk about topics which people talk about but don't really talk about and, have real discussions. But then Rodri's gone and banged it in from 30 yards. So now it looks like I'm just talking about Rodri because, he's flavour of the month and he got man in the match yesterday. Or today, sorry. Or yesterday when you are watching this. But I'm just going to continue to talk about Rodri today. And all I wanted to basically touch on was that for me, he has now become the most important person for Manchester City. I think there is no one in that team that can do what he does. Fernandinho for years was their holding midfielder and he would break up play and he would then just give it to the people that could play. And, not to say Fernandinho can't play, but, what I'm trying to say there. I think Rodri coming in, though, I think he's taken it to a different level. If you remember when he first came, he definitely suffered a bit. He definitely took a while to get to grips with the Premier League. He used to get caught in possession. The passing wasn't, really passing like maybe Pep would really want. And it took him a while. So much so that Fernandinho signed for an extra year, if you remember, because he was meant to be gone. Signed for an extra year because they needed a bit more time with him. And it wouldn't have been a wise decision to just let Fernandinho go. That's just what I think anyway. Obviously, I'm not in the background staff or whatever. But what we're seeing from him now and over the last 7-8 months, I believe, is that he's really just coming to his own. I think what makes him so good in this City team is that he's able to break up play without the mess. He's able to have ridiculous reading of the game to always be in the correct position to intercept a pass. And to be honest, I don't think there's anyone better at intercepting than him in the league, apart from Kante. Maybe Fabinho, but I would still kind of edge towards Rodri. And then he's got the ability to then pick out a pass or keep it ticking and give it to players that can actually do something with him. I mean, do something with the ball. And I think the main reason why I say he's important is because City have this thing where going forward, we know how good they are. We know that Sterling, Mahrez, KDB, uh, Bernardo Silva, whoever, Foden, Grealish now. We know they've got so much ability going forward, but coming back, it's important to have that person who can just break up the play, which is why Fernandinho for years was just so important because he used to do that job. And what Rodri does, and I've noticed it, is that he never gets too far ahead of the ball. He's never ahead of the ball, if you know what I mean. So you can be building attacks, but he's always there available. And because he has got such a high level when it comes to reading of the game, he breaks up a load of attacks. So then, and once he breaks up the attacks, he's able to, with the speed and what's the word I'm looking for? The execution, pass between lines. And his passing between lines is good. It needs to get a bit better for him to go to the next level. But I still think that, it's at the required level where Pep can look at him and be like, yes, this is how we play football. We want to play between the lines. We want to get our players in. We want to get our players the ball in those positions where they can then go and impact and influence and do what they do in order to get at the other team. So yeah, for me, one of the most important players. He's not the typical Spanish player that we when we think of Spanish players in our head, we think of like the Iniestas, the Xavis and Cazolas or whatever, like even now Pedri or whatever, like the short kind of low center of gravity players. Whereas he's tall, he's lean, he's got that stature of a player that we don't really associate with the Spanish football, But with that, because he's able to have that stature, he's able to now dominate in that midfield, and he's got a real presence in there. And obviously, people liken him to Sergio Busquets because of that. But for me, in order for him to kick on and go on and be one of the best midfielders of the next 10 years, because I truly believe for the next 10 years, Rodri will be one of the best midfielders out. We are going, in my opinion, we probably will talk about him. Maybe not in the same breath as Sergio Busquets, but of that ilk of players who are just, do you know what I mean? They just got it. And, them underrated players we talk about. And I forgot who it was. It might have been Vicente Del Bosque. I don't know, maybe, who said about Busquets, if you watch the game, you'll miss Busquets. But if you watch Busquets, you'll see the whole game or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But that is the level where, for me, Rodri needs to aspire to. We saw in the Euros that they started off with Rodri in the midfield. They started off with Rodri in the midfield. First game, he did okay, but it wasn't, do you know what I mean? And then Sergio Busquets comes on, and all of a sudden, it's like everyone is playing at that level higher because of the speed and the awareness of the passes he's getting in. He's able to intercept. He's able to always just be available. And what I would say as well, in order to get him closer, is that Rodri, and this has turned into how Rodri can improve. He's already a good player. I know nothing, so don't take my word for it. Rodri has that thing where you can sometimes kind of crowd him out and press him, whereas Sergio Busquets is, press resistant. You know that term. So I think if he becomes more press resistant and is able to do things at the speed just that much quicker, then we got an excellent player on our hands for the future. But yeah, so for me, when he's not playing, they don't have anyone that can do what he does. Fernandinho, he's getting on, he's been on. He can break up play, we know that. But he hasn't got the quality to then go on and make that pass and pass between the lines as regularly as Rodri does. So that's that for me in regards to today's one. Actually, honourable shout out as well to Cancelo. Honourable shout out to Cancelo. I wasn't even going to talk about Cancelo in this, but what I would say is that he's just a wavy footballer. You know, you get fullbacks that, okay, so we talk about Trent a lot. He's a fullback, you know, he can get down the line and he can deliver a ball. Whereas Cancelo looks like he could do a job anywhere in on the pitch. I don't think he'll do a great job. I remember having a conversation with Scorcher, and shout out Scorcher. And Scorcher was telling me that he thinks he could, I don't know if he was joking, I'm hoping he was joking, but he reckons that Cancelo could do what Grealish is supposed to be doing on the pitch. And I was like, no, like, you can't. You can play him higher up the pitch, but you won't get that level that you need. I think the level that he's given for a fullback is ridiculous. You know, him and, you know, Trent and the Reece James, and he just separates himself from them because he's got that, as Thierry Henry would say, that je ne sais quoi. He's got that thing about him where he can, outside of the foot, with so much finesse and make it look so effortless, just make that assist out of nothing for Sterling. But then he could equally just come into centre midfield and be as comfortable on the ball as a centre midfielder. So, yeah, just an honourable shout out for him. I don't know where we're going to rank him in regards to fullbacks, but I don't think there's a fullback like him. I think you can get Reece James, you can duplicate a Reece James, you can duplicate a Trent. Not to say that they're not good because they're exceptional players, but you can't do the Cancelo thing. You can't. I don't know. Maybe if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. So, like I said, you can get another Trent, you can get another Reece James, and again, exceptional players. But as a fullback, that thing that Cancelo's got, I don't know if you can duplicate that. If I'm wrong, let me know. And where do you lot rank him? And let me know in the comments. So, guys, again, in the comments, let me know what you want me to talk about. Let's have a discussion in regards to what we've spoken about in this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share it. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, follow me, so that we can just keep the conversation going, because what I hope to do is make this 5 days a week. 5 days a week. That's the aim. So you guys let me know what you lot think of Rodri, of Ole, who should be the next Man United manager. Is Cancelo just one of a kind, and can we duplicate that or replicate that? You lot let me know. But yeah, that's it for today. We are out.